Hey everybody, this is Dewey in Nashville. Got another update for you on the garden. A lot of things have changed, but yet then not a lot's changed in the garden in a few weeks. Wasn't able to give you an update last week, mainly because it's just craziness. My brother got married this past weekend, and we had a whole lot going on, so I want to congratulate him on his new union. But anyway, enough of that. Don't have a whole lot to show you on the lettuces. Obviously they don't grow much. Harvested the radishes, harvested the turnip greens, and I've been harvesting green beans for a while. I'll show you those, and some broccoli, and lots of fun things to show you in the garden. Things are coming back after the caterpillar devastation a little while ago, and so let's get started. We'll take you in and show you a little bit more of what's going on. Alright, this doesn't look like much, but compared to how things have gone the last few episodes, I'm loving this. Got new leaves, and they're intact, entirely intact, except for a few that are some of the older new leaves. They look a whole lot better than the skeletons that the caterpillars left. I ended up getting some pyrethrin spray. I got tired of the BT and neem oil because I wasn't really keeping the caterpillars off. I think the BT may be expired, come to think of it. So I got the pyrethrin spray and just hosed down my broccoli and the plants that were showing bug signs, and now the leaves are coming through great. The kale's doing the kind of same thing, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. But I'm happy that the broccoli's coming back. With a few weeks left, broccoli will handle a frost fairly well if you just cover it. So I can cover these up with those row covers that I got, and they'll hopefully still produce heads and give a few more good sized leaves, and then the heads will start coming out. Okay, kind of the same thing with the carrots as with the broccoli. These were kind of devastated by caterpillars. Plus I didn't do a whole lot with them to keep them from being attacked. So now that the caterpillars have gone, we've had a couple of frosts that have killed off the butterflies, and the carrots are coming back very nicely. Alright, my green beans are not doing so hot, but I kind of expected that. Green bean plants, a lot of the leaves are wilting, and I don't know if that's a condition of just the cold, because the cold's kind of affecting other things. It's wearing down my tomato plants, but also it could be spider mites. I've examined the symptoms of these because it didn't appear to be a fungal thing, and it started at the ground and worked its way up, whereas fungal stuff will just kind of start wherever. So that led me to believe that it was spider mites, and I think I've confirmed that. I took the pyrethrin spray that worked on the caterpillars and sprayed it onto the green beans to kind of hopefully kill off any spider mites that are on there. And they're still producing. They're still flowering, especially at the top, and so I'm hoping that they'll put out some leaves to kind of give it some energy to put into those green beans, to the fruits themselves. But for the time being, they don't look great, but they're handling it pretty well. Here's my kale plant, and this is one of the better specimens of all of them. As you can see, he's got a lot of good leaves in there. You can see where caterpillars and grasshoppers have kind of attacked it a little bit. Plus, we had a really bad windstorm here yesterday. I mean, winds of 40 or 50 miles an hour gusts, and it was for a long duration. I mean, you're talking most of the day. And so some of these are broken from where they just caught the wind wrong, but this thing is bounced back pretty well. So here's one that's broken and caterpillar damage too. This thing's bounced back pretty well, putting off some new leaves, and so I'm excited. Here's one of the plants that I think is taking the cold a little bit to heart. We've gotten down to about 35, not yet cold enough to get to a frost, but almost. And this one, I think between the wind and how it's tied up and the cold and maybe some bugs too, it's not really handling everything too well. I mean, it has produced some fruit clusters. This is supposed to be a cherry tomato, and you see exactly how big those tomatoes are. So no matter what, they've really liked the buckets and the water and the sun that they're in, but the foliage is starting to die off, especially lower on in the plants. Now if you look higher up, Let me get a good focus shot of it. The higher up stuff is doing just fine. It's putting out new growth, so it tells me the plant's not dying. It's just some of these that are tied to that stake aren't doing so hot. So I'm going to end up taking a few clippings while the tops of the plants are still healthy, so that way I can grow them indoors and then replant this next year. Now this green bean plant is doing a lot better than the other one, but it is still having trouble with some spider mite damage. So you can see as I zoom in on the leaves, that's kind of a telltale spider mite sign, especially when it starts at the bottom and works its way up, because that's the spider mite starting on the ground, climbing the plant and eating on their way up. As you can see, I've still got a lot of green leaves, and so I think I caught it in time to save several of the leaves. Unfortunately, even the green leaves still do have some spots on them, some damage. So it's still putting out new leaves, and it's starting to really put on fruit. So I'm loving that it's weathering the storm pretty well. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how the next few weeks go with this before the first frost hits. Did want to give you a quick update on the strawberry beds. Let me show you back here. You can see my neighbor cut down some of his cedar trees. We cut them down a week ago, and unfortunately a couple of them landed in the strawberry beds, and so that's why you've got some flattened leaves on there. But these plants will come back and come back strong, and the dead leaves actually will create kind of a mulch on the ground. So I'm not too awful concerned about it. I do hope that they kind of fill in before the winter really hits, because I want them to be nice and healthy for the spring. But we'll see. These things will probably keep growing for the next 2 to 4 weeks, and I'm hoping that's enough to really kind of bush out. Alright, this tomato plant caught something, and it caught something the wrong way. The leaves are dying off much similar to the other one, but at a much faster rate. I'm wondering if spider mites may be a problem, or maybe a fungal thing. When I covered these up for a cold snap we had a few nights ago, and wrapped them up, and then when I came back the next day it rained, and I came back that night after the rain, and all these spots started appearing on the leaves. And so I'm wondering if there's some kind of a disease, if it's a blight or a leaf spot. Either way, it's pretty much set all the fruit that it's going to, and these fell over in the windstorm last night, so it got a little bit damaged. But there are a few good red fruits on there, and a whole lot of other clusters of fruit that's still growing. And so seeing as that I'm not too far out from my first frost, I'm not really too overly concerned with this tomato plant. The pepper again fell over last night, but it has put on, you know, some good fist-sized fruits, and some smaller ones that are still growing. There's about 4 or 5 good-sized ones that are still on. A couple of them fell off last night, which did kind of upset me because they were just starting to turn. And this is a red bell pepper plant, so good sweet pepper. I was hoping to get some good ripe fruits off of it, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen right now. The little pepper plant just beside it, still hanging on to that one fruit, and actually got a couple flowers that it's putting out, but I'm not giving those really a whole lot of chance to actually turn. And this one is a green bell pepper. And so maybe that'll grow. Alright everybody, that's pretty much it for the update. Not a ton to show you, just like I said earlier. Come back here again in 2 to 3 weeks, give you another update, and check out the channel, subscribe, and comment if you have any questions. Be sure to subscribe, because in a few days I'm going to give y'all a potato experiment update. Again, it took a little beating from the wind, but it's not like it was just one plant. It was all of them. They're still pretty good. Basically, the wind did a lot of my pruning for me. So I'll show you that, and you get to see the progress of them in a few days. Until then, have a great day, everybody, and remember, you plant the seed, but God will provide the harvest.